In war-torn Ukraine, a peaceful teacher turns deadly sniper. Driven by revenge, Sniper the White Raven follows his journey from ordinary man to battlefield legend. Will he find redemption or become forever stained by vengeance? Buckle up and let's unravel it. The story begins in a very peaceful area of Ukraine. In this area, we see a small cottage where a couple lives. The husband's name is Mykola and the wife's name is Nastya. Mykola is a teacher and teaches math to children at a nearby school. He's a very good teacher and all the children like him, except for one named Ivan. Ivan is a very rude boy and never misses a chance to put Mykola down. But Mykola doesn't let his words bother him and enjoys his life. One day, while Mykola is at school, he finds out that Russia has invaded Ukraine and captured many Ukrainian territories. When Mykola arrives home that evening, he learns that his wife is pregnant. This news fills them both with joy, and they celebrate together. The next day, Mykola says goodbye to his wife and heads to work. On the way, he sees two soldiers, but doesn't think much of it and hurries to school. When he enters the school, he finds it completely empty. Then, he sees the news on TV. Russia has captured his city as well. Now he realizes that the soldiers he saw earlier were actually Russians. Worried about his wife, he rushes home. When Mykola reaches home, he sees the two soldiers brutally beating his wife. He tries to save her, but the soldiers beat him too. Mykola begs them not to hurt his wife because she's pregnant, but they ignore him. After a while, they search Mykola's house and then set it on fire before leaving. Seeing her home burning, Nastya becomes enraged and throws a rock at the soldiers. In response, they shoot her, killing her instantly. Witnessing his wife's death, Mykola is completely devastated and starts crying uncontrollably. A few hours later, two Ukrainian soldiers find Mykola. They recognize him and help him dig a grave to bury Nastya. With Nastya's death, Mykola's life is completely shattered. Now he has no home and no family. Mykola burned with revenge in his heart, consumed by the fire to eliminate the soldiers who had destroyed his family. This burning desire drove him to join the Ukrainian army, determined to defend his homeland. Upon reaching the base, the senior officer eyed Mykola with suspicion, fearing a Russian spy. However, Mykola's passionate plea to liberate his country and avenge his family convinced the colonel to give him a chance. As a regular civilian, Mykola faced numerous challenges during training. A fellow officer recognized his potential and took him under his wing, teaching him the intricacies of assembling and disassembling guns. Despite doubts from his peers, Mykola remained determined, persevering through his training. One night, Mykola revealed to his comrades his desire to be called by his codename, Raven. His request was met with laughter, as codenames weren't handed out easily, but rather earned through bravery. Unfazed, Mykola continued his training. The need for skilled snipers within their group became evident, and Mykola, eager to prove himself, stepped forward. His senior officer, however, dismissed him, believing he lacked the necessary skills. Fueled by his unwavering spirit, Mykola pleaded for a single chance to prove his worth. With unwavering determination, Mykola blindfolded himself, swiftly disassembled and reassembled the gun, completing the task in a mere 18 seconds. His impressive display of agility and skill left everyone stunned, earning him a spot in the sniper training program. Despite his exceptional talent, Mykola was handed an outdated rifle while his peers received modern weaponry. Undeterred, he demanded a modern weapon, only to be challenged by his senior officer. With no other option, Mykola accepted the outdated rifle and moved forward. The sniper training was grueling, demanding unwavering focus and composure. The senior officer fired shots near the trainees, eliminating any who moved from their positions. Mykola, however, remained steadfast, his aim unwavering despite the chaos around him. In the next training exercise, snipers were shown their targets once and then had to shoot them blindfolded, relying on their instincts and estimation skills. While others succeeded, Mykola's outdated rifle hindered his ability to perform the task, resulting in failure. The final training session was even more challenging, requiring snipers to shoot their targets in the dark, illuminated only by flares. As the flare ignited, everyone took aim, but no one managed to hit the target. Mykola, however, refrained from firing, instead using the flare's light to calculate the distance and employing his mathematical knowledge to execute a perfect shot. His senior officer, deeply impressed by Mykola's exceptional skills and unwavering determination, granted him his desired codename, Raven. Mykola's journey embodied the indomitable spirit of a soldier. a testament to the power of courage and determination in the face of adversity. Days turned into weeks as Mykola dedicated himself wholeheartedly to his training. Finally, the day arrived when the results were to be announced. The colonel saluted Mykola and informed him that he had passed the test. A few days later, the colonel approached Mykola and instructed him to pack his belongings as they were being sent on a mission. News had arrived that a group of Russian soldiers had captured a checkpoint. Mykola's team quickly reached the location and took their positions. They were about to eliminate the Russian soldiers when they spotted a vehicle approaching the checkpoint. The Russian soldiers stopped the vehicle and ordered the occupants to step out. They checked the passports of all the passengers and thoroughly searched the entire vehicle. When everything seemed in order, the soldiers allowed the passengers to leave, but confiscated their passports. When the passengers protested, the soldiers beat them up mercilessly. Witnessing this brutality, the colonel ordered his soldiers to open fire. In a matter of seconds, all the Russian soldiers were eliminated. Thus, their first mission was accomplished. Upon returning to base, Mykola noticed that many of his comrades were missing. He was informed that the rest of his team had been sent on another mission. The next day, Mykola received news that many of his comrades had been killed during that mission, all by a single Russian sniper named Seri, the most lethal sniper in Russia. Days passed, and Mykola and his comrades embarked on their next mission. Upon reaching the location, they planted mines all around and took their positions. Soon after, Russian soldiers arrived, and among them was Ivan, the boy who used to bully Mykola in school and had now joined the Russian army. As the Russian soldiers stepped on the landmines, a deafening explosion erupted, killing them all. The colonel explained to Mykola that he should not feel any guilt over Ivan's death, as joining the Russian army was Ivan's own decision. Completing the mission, they all returned to their base camp. The colonel showed Mykola a picture of his family and revealed that he had 2 daughters who were unaware that their father was a soldier. Mykola shared his own story with the colonel, describing the brutality with which the Russian soldiers had killed his wife. Overwhelmed with emotion, Mykola broke down, but the colonel comforted him. The next morning, they all set out for their next mission, a crucial one as they had received intelligence that a contingent of Russian soldiers was about to pass through that route. The colonel and Mykola quickly reached the location and took their positions. After a while, they spotted 2 Russian soldiers waiting for the rest of their team. Mykola noticed that one of them was the soldier who had killed his wife and was directly in his line of fire. Mykola requested permission to shoot, but the colonel denied it. Enraged, Mykola demanded permission again, determined to avenge his wife's death. Once again, the colonel refused. Finally, Mykola's patience ran out, and he fired the shot. The bullet struck the soldier instantly, killing him. However, their location was now exposed to the Russians. Worse still, Seri, the most dangerous Russian sniper, had also taken up his position and was aware of their location. The colonel knew that Seri was nearby and began searching for him. But before he could pinpoint Seri's location, Seri took a headshot, killing the colonel instantly. Mykola realized that the Russians were now aware of their location and that his mistake had cost the colonel's life. The Russian soldiers opened heavy fire on Mykola. Seeing the deteriorating situation, Mykola decided to retreat. He picked up the colonel's body and moved back from his position. He managed to escape enemy territory and returned to his base. Mykola was deeply saddened by the colonel's death and blamed himself for it. He vowed to avenge the colonel's death and kill Seri. Soon after, Mykola received information about 2 Russian snipers and immediately embarked on his next mission. He reached the location and took aim. He quickly eliminated one sniper, but the gunfire alerted him and he was also shot. Despite his injury, he managed to kill the second sniper. Wounded, he made his way to a secret base to rest and recuperate. During this time, he received a call from the army major. The major informed Mykola that they had located the sniper who had killed the colonel. Mykola returned to his base, where the major briefed everyone about the sniper. The major revealed that the sniper's name was Seri, and that he was the best sniper in Russia. Seri had killed 6 of Ukraine's most skilled soldiers, and they should not underestimate him. The major explained that Seri was a sniper who rarely changed his position and would sit in a specific location to hunt his enemies. As the plan unfolded, 2 teams were formed to infiltrate Seri's location. The first team would hit the Russians head-on, keeping them busy while the second team snuck up behind them for a surprise attack. Amidst the chaos, Mykola would slip into the building and eliminate Sari. With the plan in place, they set off towards the designated location. Upon reaching their positions, the snipers took aim, ready to execute their mission. Mykola stealthily entered the building, encountering 2 Russian soldiers. Without hesitation, he dispatched them and moved further into the structure. Signaling his team, they swiftly eliminated the remaining Russian soldiers. Sari, however, noticed the lack of communication from his comrades. Sensing something amiss, he ascended to the building's rooftop, where a sniper was already stationed. But upon reaching the top, he found the sniper dead. Sari realized he was surrounded by Ukrainian soldiers. He contacted his base for backup, but they were 10 minutes away. Urgently, he returned to his position and began searching for the Ukrainian soldiers. Suddenly, he spotted Mykola's toy, a gift from his wife. Before Sari could react, Mykola lunged at him, engaging in a fierce hand-to-hand combat. Mykola emerged victorious, stabbing Sari to death. The commotion alerted the remaining sniper in the building. But before he could take action, Mykola hurled a grenade, eliminating the final threat. Sari's backup team arrived, unaware of their leader's demise. When they called for Sari, Mykola answered, informing them of their impending doom. He then shot the truck driver, triggering panic among the Russian soldiers. They scrambled out of the truck, unaware of the Ukrainian snipers waiting in ambush. The Ukrainian forces opened fire, picking off the Russians one by one. Days after the mission, Mykola visited his wife's grave, his promise fulfilled. He had avenged the deaths of his wife and his colonel. Vowing to serve his country until his last breath, Mykola embarked on his next mission. So this was the end of the movie. Hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, then hit the thumbs up. Please consider subscribing to the channel. Stay tuned for more detailed explanation of movies. Thanks for watching.